Open your eyes.
Alright guys, today's video we're going to talk about the Super Nintendo being on the Nintendo Switch. This is pretty awesome. A lot of people have been waiting for some of these games to come over to the Nintendo Switch. And this video right here from the NES Classic is actually really relevant because for the last year in September we got the NES Classic basically on Nintendo Switch. Even though it wasn't the same games, we definitely got a lot of games that were on the NES Classic and a bunch of other games. But a lot of people were very unhappy with this because a lot of people have had these games so many times through the years. I mean, yes, having them for free is awesome, and you know, having them with the subscription is really awesome. And to be able to play these games online is really cool. Definitely not bad, especially considering the Nintendo service was $20, or currently is $20 per year, which is definitely a really good deal. But a lot of people want more, especially we've been getting drip fed like 2 to 3 NES games per month, which isn't very much, especially when maybe 1 out of maybe the 3 is a decent game and the others are like you know, especially considering that there's a lot of better games on the NES that we could have got, but for whatever reason we didn't. But the NES games, there's a lot of great NES games. So a lot of people have been looking forward to this, including myself. There's some absolute great games on Super Nintendo.
Now you're playing with power.
Yeah, and just the fact that Super Nintendo has so many great games, and the fact that it could be coming to the Nintendo Switch, which there's been patents filed that really, they basically tell us that Super Nintendo is coming to Nintendo Switch. And that's because of a patent for a Super Nintendo controller, like right here, but basically wireless. So here's a wireless Super Nintendo controller, even though this is an 8-bit controller. You know, it represents the Super Nintendo controller wireless. But what I wonder is, last year we got the NES wireless controllers for the online service, which I think were really cool. Definitely expensive though, $60 for 2 of them, which is definitely pricey. And they do have little, I guess, left and right buttons, which is pretty neat, but they're really tiny. But they do have they're built into the rails. And these charge on your Nintendo Switch, which is definitely weird. So I just wonder how's this going to go over on the Super Nintendo controller, because you have the bumpers already on there, which are bigger. How are you going to add this rail unless the rail is smaller? So I'm definitely still curious about that, or if they maybe put make the controller a little thicker up top and like have the rail on there different. Very odd. But yeah, we have this rail going to be on these controllers, which I think is really weird. I don't know how they're going to implement this. I almost would rather them just have like a little USB Type-C port right up top, like this 8-bit controller, and not slide onto the rails. I just think that would make a lot more sense, and then just have it bundled with like a little charge cable. That would make a lot more sense to me, especially because you have these little bumpers here, because the Super Nintendo controller is an absolutely comfortable controller. But I gotta say, I'm super excited because I think the NES is an awesome system, and I would love to play this game right here on my Nintendo Switch. At any point, to be able to play Super Metroid, I think would be absolutely amazing. To just play that game portably is just super cool, and to have it, you know, in 720p and handheld, I think that's pretty awesome. And because this is such a great game, I mean, amazing. It's an amazing game. And then you have other great Super Nintendo games. I mean, there's just so many. You know we would be getting something like Super Mario World. I think it's kind of inevitable. Why wouldn't we? Even with Super Mario Maker on 2 on Switch, Super Mario World is still an absolutely an amazing game.
With power. Superpower.
Superpower. Alright, so the Nintendo Switch Online came out last September, and we, like I said, we got these NES titles, and you know, that was okay, but I think they should have added more. They could have added some better ones. But this September, they're going to want to try to keep people subscribing. They're going to want to give people a reason to actually join that haven't joined. And Super Nintendo is definitely a good way to entice people, because Super Nintendo games definitely have a higher quality than NES games. A lot more people are more familiar with them because NES was longer ago, and let's face it, there's a lot of younger gamers that have no attachment to the NES, like maybe somebody as myself, and just the games, like I was saying, you know, we have games like this, the Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. To have this on the go is absolutely amazing. I would love to play this on my Nintendo Switch. I would have this game 100%ed without a doubt, probably in the first week that it was on the Nintendo Switch, just because I would feel like I had to play it. But you know, they really got to do something, and they have to get rid of the border around there that you can't get rid of currently. That is absolutely maddening to see that thing all the time. It's just nuts that there's still no way to get rid of that thing. So they need to update it, be able to push a button to get rid of that, or push a button to bring it back up. I mean, I don't think people need to look at a screen that says hold you know, ZR and ZL at the same time to pull up suspend points or whatever. I think people are smart enough to figure that out on their own, or just need to be told like once, or maybe right in the beginning, but not through the whole game. Nobody wants to look at these borders the whole time. I mean, it's awful to look at this, and I don't want to see that while I'm playing The Legend of Zelda, or while I'm playing this other gem right here, Super Metroid. Because, man, I'll tell you what, The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past and Super Metroid are probably the two games that I am like most excited to be able to play on my Switch in handheld mode. These games are absolutely phenomenal, and some of the best games ever made, according to what was it, Game Informer magazine, when they did like a top 300. This was the #1 game of all time. And I know that's definitely to be debated, especially with Ocarina of Time, but this is definitely a great one. That's for sure. And yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to play games like Turtles in Time? I mean, I don't know if they'd be able to pull this one off, but this would be an absolute fantastic game to put on the Nintendo Switch. Just absolutely great. And you know, you have these NES controllers that were absolutely awesome. I had to buy them myself because let's face it, I wanted to have wireless actual licensed, made by Nintendo NES controllers for my Switch. That's just awesome. And I want the same for the Super Nintendo. I think that is super cool. But, I mean, just these games, I think, are going to bring people back to the service. And, like I said, like this gem right here, Super Mario All-Stars. I mean, even though we have all the Mario games on there already, I mean, Super Mario All-Stars just looks great, especially being that it's in 16-bit. It just definitely has a better look to it, which is debatable as well. I actually like all of them. It's hard to even judge. I actually am more nostalgic for the NES ones, but I think this is great versions of these games as well. And let's see here. Like I said, Turtles in Time. Another one. I wish they could pull this off. That would be awesome. But yeah, there's so many great games, and I wish that they would actually do this. Bring the Firemen. This is a game that was only released in Europe, and man, this is a really fun Super Nintendo game, or Super Famicom game, even because we never got it. This is actually a a reproduction cart because obviously I couldn't get the real one. Well, not as a Super Nintendo game anyway, but I just would love to have an official release in the United States for this game, because I think a lot of people never played this. And another one being like Back to the Future. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this Super Nintendo situation with the Super Nintendo coming to the Nintendo Switch online service. And let me know if you think that's going to keep you subscribed or have you subscribed for the first time. Is this enough to pull people back to the service or to pull people into the service for the first time? I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. Like I said, the Super Nintendo has an absolutely amazing library of games. Hopefully Nintendo utilizes some of their really heavy hitters. I really believe that they'll hit some of the big three. I mean, Mario, obviously, Zelda, obviously, and Metroid. And I believe we'll also be seeing, most likely, Star Fox 2 on there. Just a hunch, you know? I really wouldn't be shocked. But I'd like to even see something like Super Punch-Out come on there, because that's another great game. I love Super Punch-Out. But definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And you know what? If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And thanks to all of you that have been supporting my channel lately. I've had a bunch of new subscribers. And welcome to the channel, and thanks for watching my videos. I really appreciate it, and thank you to everybody that's been subscribed for the continued support. I really appreciate it. And the channel's definitely growing, and I couldn't be more happier. So thanks, guys. I truly appreciate it. It's definitely awesome when you guys comment and all that stuff. I love the engagement. It's totally cool, and it's just fun talking about games. It's absolutely great. But like I said, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I try to put content out like this every day, and if I can get to it. But that's the video, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm the War Train, and I'm out. Have a good one.
Everything I've done up until now, it was all for nothing.
What a great game. Just saying. Absolutely amazing. And if you don't have a Nintendo Switch, get one for this right here. This game is awesome.
You must save her, my daughter.
Alright, guys. Have a good one.